In Fusion, you can create all components of your design in context and define the mechanical relationships and motion between them, all organized within a single environment. Look at the browser to understand how you can use components to organize your design. A component is a container for design elements, like sketches, construction geometry, bodies, origins, and even other components. The top node in the browser is a top-level component that exists by default in every design. Document settings, named views, and joints are always located in this top-level component. You can create as many components within a design as you need. Each component is capable of motion, has its own unique origin and coordinate system, and has its own timeline. Each component also has a name, number, and description that displays in a parts list. You need to use components to organize your design if you plan to use any of the manufacturing or documentation tools in the manufacture and drawing workspaces. It is important to organize your design so that you and anyone you are collaborating with can quickly understand the relationships between components. As a best practice, first create a new component within your design, activate it, and then begin defining its geometry. From the browser, right-click the top-level component and select New Component. Then, define the settings in the New Component dialog. Click the Type drop-down list and select Standard or Sheet Metal. Select Internal or External for the location of the component relative to the design. Enter a component name. For an internal component, you can change the parent if needed, or select from bodies to select one or more bodies to convert to components. For external components, click the folder name to specify the location where you want to save the new design. Finally, select Activate to activate the new component upon creation. Click OK to create the new component. You can also access the New Component command on the toolbar from the Create or Assemble panels, or while you are in a command, such as Extrude. Activate the command. Select the profile you want to extrude. Change the operation to New Component, then click OK. Locate the new component in the browser, and remember to change the name to something meaningful. By keeping component-specific changes nested within the component timeline, your design stays well organized and the timeline is easier to understand and interact with. In the browser, you can drag one component into another. In this case, the assembly icon indicates that the component contains additional components. You can activate any individual child component nested under the parent component, or activate the parent component. You can create joints to define mechanical relationships and motion between components. You can also reuse components within a design. Right-click a component in the browser and select Copy. Right-click the parent component where you want the copy to appear. Then select Paste. This creates an identical copy of the original component. The components share the same name, except for the :1 and :2 at the end of the name. When you make a change to one copy, the other updates to reflect that change. However, you can position each instance of the component independently. Note that selecting Paste New instead of Paste creates an identical copy that is not linked to the original. Then, a change to one copy does not update the other. You might also have an external design that you want to reference as a component in your current design. To do this, in the Data panel, navigate to the design you want to reference, right-click the design, and select Insert into Current Design. Use the manipulator, or adjust the settings in the Move/Copy dialog to position the component, then click OK. The inserted design displays as a component in the browser. The link icon indicates that it is an external reference, or XREF for short. In the Data panel, the inserted design is now listed in the Uses section for the current design. And the current design is now listed in the Used in section for the inserted design. If you or a collaborator open the inserted design, make a change, and save it, the current design will display a warning symbol over the component in the browser and in the application bar, indicating that the XREF is out of date. Right-click the component and select Get Latest Version, or click the icon in the application bar to see the latest changes. If you right-click and select Break Link, the component is inserted directly into the design, and the link between the two designs is severed. In Fusion, you can create 3D bodies within any component in the assembly of your design. A body is a single container for a contiguous 3D shape. This could be a simple primitive like a box, cylinder, or sphere, or a more complex 3D shape. If you split a single body, it becomes two bodies, because the original 3D shape is no longer contiguous. Each body is contained within a component, whether located in the top-level component or one you created intentionally. Each component can contain multiple bodies, but note that you cannot create joints or motion between them. There are a few things to consider when creating bodies. Before you modify a body, make sure you activate its component first. Consider isolating the component before you modify the body, to avoid creating unnecessary relationships between bodies across different components. If you copy and paste a body, each copy remains independent. Changes you make to one body will not affect the other. Bodies do not display in drawings or in a bill of materials. If your design requires motion between components, it is best to create components first, then create bodies within their respective components from the start. If you have already created a body in the top-level component, you can create a new component later, by right-clicking the body and selecting Create Components from Bodies. The tools and operations you used to create the original body, however, remain in the top-level component, and are still associated with its timeline. This can make the timeline difficult to understand and interact with, as you evolve your design. If you activate the component now, its timeline only contains this body to component operation. The history does not come along with it. The best practice here is to create a new component first. Name it, activate it, and then start designing.